Wow, right, back again, Friday, nearly the weekend, looking ever so slightly dishevelled today, friends, and I can only apologise for that. Blame Preston. Great set of beers. Bit of a discussion to have with a client yesterday. Turned into a boozy spectacle. So what? We got the work done, everything moves on, everybody's happy. Yahoo Answers today, and you know, there's a bit of a trend for me here. I'm starting to really get into the drift of how you can get more and more knowledge yourself by answering questions for other people. It's the whole mirror thing. I think they probably know the answers, but by you being there, you're actually showing them that they've got the savvy to succeed. So today was a really interesting question, and something that at first sounded really simple to answer, but then started creating all sorts of thoughts in my mind as to how to best advise somebody on how to build a website. This was a guy who was very savvy, a 3D designer, but just hadn't entered into the website space. And I think we take it for granted these days that people know how to build websites. I mean, it's so common. There's billions of them out there, but there's also billions of people without a website. So these guys need a helping hand. So I thought of a few pointers to help you if you haven't created a website. You're here on YouTube, you know pretty much all there is to know about how to use the internet. But when it comes to building your website, your little place on the web to shout about things that you're passionate about or to sell stuff, you kind of need some simple rules on how to make it work and to be really successful. The first thing you need to do is have an intimate knowledge of the subject that you want to sell, that you want to talk about, that you want to create debate about, because every site has got a different agenda. So I can't suggest for a second that you're all about selling inflatable sofas. It could be anything that you want to do. So just make sure that you read loads of blogs, you get loads of magazines, you read adverts in shop windows, you listen to music, anything that's vaguely related or that makes you pumped, that really creates that ambitiousness in yourself. Get it all in your head and absorb it, and just make sure that you're fully authoritative, so that when you take it to the next stage, which is actually talking to your prospective audience, you can talk to them with pizzazz and you can say, okay, what is it that you're really looking for? Are you looking for pig's ears, like mine, to buy on the web? Are you looking for knowledge about your favourite football team? Or do you want to find out about mummypreneurs? Whatever it is, you've got a background knowledge then, because you've spent a good week, 2 weeks, a month, a year getting down and dirty with all the details to actually form a plan for your website. So once you've got the ideas and you've spoken to your audience and you're in the right frame of mind that you want to make things, take things to the next level, start thinking about the content. Get yourself a Google document, a spreadsheet say, and just write down 10 or 15 different ideas for articles, or write down 10 or 15 different product descriptions. Talk about pubs as an idea for a website, and this might give you a good feel as to where I'm going with this. When I was out in Preston, lovely little town in Lancashire, full packed to the rafters with great ale houses. The one thing I noticed, out of all the places we went to, one of these geezers had a website, right? I was there, and no offence to the ale trade specifically, but Jesus Christ, I felt like I was going to be invited to a party to celebrate the discovery of fire. Just so far backwards. But you know, if you're a pub, you get out there, you get a website together. It talks about the latest brews you've got on, it talks about the community groups, how well you're doing at football, all that sort of stuff, and you create momentum and engagement. And yeah, I'm quite a big fan of engagement. Let's just recap. So we started off, get the knowledge, talk to your audience, find out who they are and what they want, and then start developing some content for your website. So you start getting a picture in your head about the sort of things that's going to go on there. The fourth thing, start designing it, and this is where you can really have some fun. You can use stuff like Gliffy.com, which creates or helps you to create wireframes, so you can start seeing the site build in front of your very eyes, and you get a really good idea then as to how it's going to turn out, how it's going to look. Once you've got an idea of how each page is going to work, and when I talk about wireframes, that's just a bare naked square boxes here and a circle there. The real nude site before you start fleshing it out with colours, logos, mastheads, all that rest of it. Next thing you need to do is start thinking about usability. and how it all fits together? Will people understand the navigation on your site to get from A to B? Will they understand that you've got sub-pages on sub-pages? Will they know how to get from one product to the next? Have you thought about the fact that people aren't going to necessarily land on your homepage? Because the nature of search engines is that they can reach any page that is indexed on the web, depending on how they search and the descriptions you use on each page and the title tags, all that sort of stuff. That's for another day. But anyway, be aware that your homepage is any page today with the increased sophistication of search engines and the way that people can access your site from any angle using any page. So you've got your usability and you've got your content together and you've got an inference of design. So you really need to work on content management systems now, which is my advocated way forward for the web. So you can use something like Drupal or Joomla. These are quite techy and geeky and I wouldn't recommend it, but just so you know that they're available. My one recommendation for you is WordPress.com. Now, a lot of people use things like Blogger and Blogspot and they are firmly encapsulated into the blogging arena, but WordPress these days has evolved into this really strong, robust content management system, which basically means that you can create custom pages to do different things. If you want to have some pages that sell stuff and some pages that say who you are, what you do, you can meld everything together on this one platform. And WordPress does two different varieties. The first one is hosted on WordPress's servers. That's WordPress.com. All you need to do is create your account and straight away you can get in there and start creating posts and putting all that content in and start thinking about the design. Not a great deal of flexibility in the design, but there are a lot of plugins and widgets that you can use to customize the way that your site looks. Now, WordPress.org, which is the second element, is your self-hosted option. Now, I use HostGator.com, which is my web host. And added on to that, I then throw in my pages, my site, I direct my URL, which is my domain name, to the server that I have with HostGator. So everything is managed by me. WordPress.com is managed by WordPress, so you don't have an awful lot of flexibility in terms of going beyond the basics, but at least it gets you with your toe in the water. WordPress.org, when you use it with a web host, means that you've got absolute control over everything that happens there. A happy medium is Squarespace.com. Now, Squarespace will manage it all for you, but the flexibility is massive. And check out the website because they've got a really good portfolio of lots and lots and lots of different websites that have been created using Squarespace. It's the flexibility, but without the hassle of managing your own website, I guess, on a self-hosted platform using somebody like HostGator. I guess that's pretty much where we are, and I just wanted to get you on the road to having a successful and hugely enjoyable website, because what's the point of having a website if you're not enjoying updating it and you're not updating it as often as you like to because you get bored of it? Creating that audience as well, it's always very important that people go back to the usability. So important that people know how to use your site and they can feel comfortable, cozy and enjoy the whole experience. Talk about things like how your Facebook page will link back in and how your Twitter account will circle back to your website. Again, that's for another day. But just think about how easy it is today with all of these tools and all these guys out there ready to help you and get your website running. How easy it is for you to have a box upon which you can talk on the web. So get out there. Try creating a website. It's probably a day-long project. And if you want to find out any more, speak to me, Dave Thackeray, last time I know, from Word and Mouth, or you can check me out at davethackray.com. Just ask the question, and I'm always happy to help. And go back to where this all began. Ask the question on Yahoo Answers or LinkedIn Answers, because there's millions of people there who are absolutely more than happy to help you achieve your goal of creating your very first website. Enjoy yourself, Dave Thackeray, Word and Mouth, and have a great weekend. Take it easy. Bye for now.